Don't let things like talent or ability stand in your way, kids.
It didn't stop Bob Dylan.
And welcome back to Linux Gamecast Weekly. Show covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. I'm Ben Stone here to LGC Axel, switching the bits, doing the Nightmare Fuel in our Linux-powered studio. That is a couch that has a MacBook on it, but also there's a Jordan Swing there up north in Canadian land.
I thought it was Wednesday.
Shut up. Now... Pedro Mateus, staying up late, past his bedtime in Britannia, swapping beers out. You never know what's going on. And everyone watching us live at home, helping us form Cocaine Votron. Yeah, man, I'm going to...
Votron.
Votron, yes.
Good Votron, my lord.
Votron. That's going to be our new mascot. The Votron. Vote.linuxgamecast.com.
It's just a voting machine.
You can
vote for Bruce Boxleitner.
Bang as show titles and vote on them. Hey, audience interaction. What's up, beautiful people? We like to play a little bit of a catch up, see what's going on. I know I finally finished the little bit late Studio Update 2021. So if you're a patron and you want to know how all this stuff is currently being stuck together, that interests you, a little behind the scenes type of stuff, that will be, it's currently up in the announcement section in Discord. If you just want to go ahead and watch it right now, I'm like, F off live stream, I'm going to go watch that. Or I will have it posted up on Patreon proper tomorrow afternoon. And so you might have heard, maybe, that IRC could went and all that with Freenode. So we got a new IRC thing. Like everybody else, we bounced over to irc.libra.chat, hashtag Linux Gamecast. So if you want to go over there and hang out, Friezo's in charge. So if you have
Frieza.
Frieza in the morning,
how
Frieza in the
dare you?
evening, Frieza at supper time. When Frieza is on a picnic. Check it out. If you have any problems with anything Linux related, contact Frieza because he's in charge now. Ha! It'll teach you to squat. That's it. What's new with you, Couch? I mean, Jordan.
I got a new Jordan this week. I ordered it from IKEA and I assembled it and I put it over there. So now I can sit on my Jordan's face and have a good old time. I'm slowly filling out this room with furniture as I accumulate stuff. I got a nice couch. It's very comfortable. In the pre super shows, and I almost fell asleep on it because they're like, "Can you lie down on this couch?" Oh, I'll show you. I'll lie down on this couch so hard.
I can lie down even harder if I want.
Yeah, that's called an elbow drop, then.
Okay. All right. Fine. How about you, Pedro?
Over here, I got one of them SMD soldering kits going. You may have seen the picture showing this side. It's like, only 96 LEDs to go. I
saw you post that in Discord, and Katana's like, you might want to test that with a multi. I'm like, be quiet.
I did. All the side that I've already soldered, I've already tested everything, including the big, well, it's not that big microprocessor that I just had to make sure that there were no teeny tiny micro bridges of solder between all the pins. Mm-hmm. And there weren't. So apparently I'm getting decent-ish with a soldering iron. Thank you, Pine64, because that Pine Soul is amazing. And even with SMD stuff, I just need to go through and fill out all of the LEDs because that's going to be an afternoon.
Come on, one LED full of, come on. Oh.
If cross stitch isn't nerdy enough for you, there's this.
Right.
Yeah, no,
more tin fumes.
100 the strip has like 107 LEDs and I only need 96. So I think they know.
So, okay. Like, genuinely curious, is there any point to what you've built outside of the first time when you accidentally cut it on and blind your dumbass?
It's a VU meter if you have it vertically and a spectrum analyzer if you have it horizontally.
Okay. Did you just gotta rub it on the sound source? And
I look forward to...
It comes with a little Y splitter for 3.5 mils, and one of them you just plug it into your headset, and the other one, the other side, it has a micro USB that you plug in to there. See, I haven't soldered the connector yet. You plug it in here, and then it just does the spectrum analyzing of the sound.
So horrifying.
Now I have She Blinded Me with Science in my head. So She blinded me with science. Oh God.
Well, one thing we don't need blinders for is the horse.
Yeah, because it's just a gelatinous mass of rotten nonsense.
Blind
much
horse?
much like the content on this show. It's the Steam
Linux. We got one. Man, Steam client update. It's here. It's due. And if you've been running in the beta client, okay, there's not too much to play around with. But hey, this brings all of the fixes, including the dead zone fix for your controllers to stable. So
Christopher Walken. Yeah. I mean, the other big one here is now Fossilize is going to work with Proton Experimental, which is good because Fossilize is the tool that lets new games work with Proton by allowing you to replay shader pipelines and, you know, figure out why they're broken so that you can fix the Dixfix. So that's always nice.
Yeah, I only run the stable client on the laptops, but that's because on the laptops, the client is only on long enough for me to download a game and play it. That's it. Because the new Steam, it drains battery like stupid.
I alternate between beta and stable when one of the two breaks. That's usually my impetus from going from one to the other.
This is like a time-honored strat. I used to play with that. I like to run the beta client simply because I want to see if I can like pretend to read what the next update is for that nanosecond when you click OK and it's visible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, restart Steam. By the way, this is what's changing.
Bye. Okay.
It was a black window. Fix that damn thing, Valve. You fixed it already. It was fixed for like 2 revisions of the beta drivers, and then you borked it again.
I firmly believe that was by accident because this is some type of like
Probably
sick log running joke.
Yeah, it's like, what? You fixed it? No, you idiot! Revert that commit.
Steamworks 2021. We got a year-to-date recap.
Yeah, it's as they themselves point out, not quite halfway into 2021, and they decided to, okay, let's take a break and tell everyone why we're charging 30%. I mean, all the new Steamworks features we've been working for.
Features.
No, are you telling me that Wolfire class action suit might be just a little spurious, according to Valve?
Wait, next you're going to tell me the whole Epic Store thing spurred them to like do development on their store. Oh.
Yeah, well, that certainly helped. And one of the things that they bring up is that it's now easier than ever to share patch notes with players. Yeah, Valve, you were offender number 1 when it came to updating shit without telling people what exactly it is that you're changing. So yeah, that's good to see. And yes, game developers seem to be a lot happier to push out patch notes and whatnot because they realize that drives engagement, and that engagement means their games get access to more stuff like trading cards, which gets them more money. Yeah, there you go.
I get a feeling like that's the guy who is the reason we can't read the beta update.
Yeah, it could very well
looks
be.
Like
Look at that grimace. He's just like,
well,
you fucking Linux users, you don't get to know what you're changing your Steam client. Ugh.
The feature that I like the most is that one of the things that they expose to developers now is what kind of controllers people are using. And at least I've noticed, especially with Unity games, because that's the bulk of what we get on Linux, go figure. A lot of them, except for the game that we're throwing chairs at this week, but that's a different story. A lot of them seem to be just whatever controller you throw at it, it goes, oh, okay, that's that controller. There you go. And it works. So I wonder if that's actually part of that, or if Unity actually updated a thing on their end and the developer doesn't have to do anything, which I'm more inclined to think that.
I don't know. You got to imagine that, Unity knows what controller you're using.
Especially if you have all the telemetry on, which is on by default. So yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, that's good to see. I mean, it's not like super transparency, but it's better than nothing, right? Like, hey, this is what we're doing behind the scenes, and it does lend something to you are getting services.
Yes, the money isn't just getting pocketed. There is stuff. There's constant development. Yeah, But some of the development funds go to this thing, Glorious Egg Roll, that wonderful Red Hat Wine developer who puts together some of the more experimental Proton features for your consumption. I just got a new one out. This is Proton GE 6.8-2. The big one here is Mass Effect Legendary Edition is completely playable now. I streamed a bit of it on Thursday. I'm not Pedro. I briefly dissociated there for a minute. But yeah, on Thursday, I streamed Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It runs beautifully with GE 6.82. There's some fixes for RE8, Neo 2, Fallout New Vegas. So yeah, if you have some games that are not working with the current vanilla builds of Proton, you may want to check this out and see if it fixes your problem.
I just gotta say, huge fan of point number 2 with the quote about Origin. Origin is about as stable as trying to piss in the wind while drunk at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that is 100% real. When I started up Legendary Edition, it's like Origin is starting up. Okay, let's try that again. Origin has successfally logged in. Now Origin needs to actually download the game.
Because when you get the Origin launch, you're like, if it gets in the game, you're like, huh. Okay.
Oh yeah. Once you get in the game, it's perfectly fine. But that initial setup is so janky, so janky.
And that's been a problem for a while. It's EA and Ubisoft are the worst because you're downloading your game on Steam. Don't worry, you're going to get Origin and Uplay in the case of Ubisoft, and you're going to have to launch them. Otherwise, the game won't run because you're a lying cheater.
Oh, one thing that's kind of funny is there's like achievement sharing between Steam and Origin.
Sharing?
Achievement sharing, yeah. If you unlock achievements in one, it goes to the other.
Sharing?
And if you're sharing, it's all we do here. We share things. But if you get an achievement in Steam and you're playing the game,
being charitable,
maybe. I don't want to shade this point down too much, but if you get Steam achievements, and you're in windowed mode, it'll pop you out to show you the Origin window saying, "Hey, you unlocked this achievement."
First thing you disable is that.
Yeah, right.
Or the second thing, once you realize that that's a thing, you're like,
yeah, I did not know that was a thing. That was like, well, click back into the game.
Okay, here's the real question. Does anyone actually know what you're supposed to do in Gang Beast?
In theory, yes. In theory, you are supposed to grab them, pick them up, and toss them. Okay. In practice, you just kind of slap each other until one of you dies. But it's going to be easier to do that with your friends now because they have a new matchmaker beta. And Ben, you tried it. Apparently, it's not working, but they are soliciting feedback. If you go into the public testing branch in Gang Beasts, you can play around with the new matchmaker. And considering the previous one, let's call it a little poo poo. I look forward to seeing whatever improvements they're able to shove in there.
Yeah, I was like genuinely kind of curious about it because I wanted to. I saw you like, hey, it's been a while since we played Gang Beast, so I loaded up the public beta and I was like, hey, here's a red screen. Okay, are we compiling, doing something with shaders? That's good. This is how long I was waiting. I was like, let's get HTOP open. Oh, no, you're running. You're definitely doing a thing. And so I closed it out and went back to stable and just came right back up. And this is just on like bog standard Nvidia latest drivers, the like target. So.
Right. Yeah, no, they do have the known issue that the Mac build will not boot past the splash screen. I guess that's not just the Mac issue.
Maybe it's, oh no, am I on a Mac now?
What are you saying just clicking export in Unity isn't enough to actually like put out a game?
I don't know, man. Listen, Apple's like, yo, our new desktops are going to have 90 cores. I'm like, geez.
Oh, speaking of, you saw you posted the post from Codeweaver where they're just like, yeah, we're not going to actually like work on like Rosetta's going to be there forever. We're just not going to bother with ARM x86 stuff.
Okay,
like the previous version. Yes.
Let me go ahead. Codeweavers was okay. Yeah, ARM Codeweaver 1. This is the can. Yep. Problem solved, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
You're welcome. Acting jobs, baby. What do we get up next? Oh, controllers for pathways. We played this game.
We did, yeah. It was a turn-based grid game where you try to survive as long as you can. They released a Switch version, and as such, they've also added controller support. So I went and I downloaded the game and I plugged in my controller. And if you have Steam input on, your mouse cursor will just go left forever. So I guess suck it, Derek. When you turn off Steam input, then everything works. Yeah. So good on you. Controller works.
That is definitely something I remember. Like right when it came out, I'm like, why can't you play this with a controller? It's
XCOM. I don't honestly think that the controller would be the thing that would have made me give it the 4th chair for the fun, because if I remember correctly, I give it 3. So yeah, it's 2D XCOM.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. I mean,
so XCOM.
This game has been out for well over a year, and I know other people who go in the forums, do a search like, hey, can we get controller support? And they're like, no one needs to mess around with controllers. It's silly talk. Then, hey, we want to put this on the Switch. And there's like, guess what, motherfuckers?
there's no keyboard and mouse on the Nintendo Switch.
So
more ways to play the game is always good.
Yeah, this is true. Yep. It's not as unforgettable as our next game.
That is quite forgettable, but hey, Unforgettable You is a contemplating platformer game about love.
That's
and if you're looking at that trailer, yes, you're looking at that trailer, and then you look to the side and you see narrative, walking simulator, story-rich drama. Right, so it's Limbo with text on screen, absolutely no challenge, and somehow a jankier animation for your silhouette of a character. That takes work. That does take work. That takes a lot of work to pull that off.
Okay, Pedro Mateus, what if this is a one-person team and this is their first game trying to play around? And because it absolutely is. Somebody like, hey, it's the game I made in my spare time.
It is free, so at least it's priced accordingly.
You can go play Pedro's game, which is better.
I mean, it's soldering LEDs. That's what Pedro's game is. I mean, it does really look like someone tried to distill a Cure album down into a video game. Whether or not that's a good idea, I'm going to leave that one up to you. But yeah, it's cheap as free, so check it out, I guess.
Yes.
Check out it's tested on a laptop with these specs. So we know it runs on guess the laptop. i5 8 gigs.
i5 6300, so it's Skylake, yeah.
That could be anything though, man. Like
AMD HD 7500M.
I guess he's got two laptops.
Requirements. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an older one, right?
You know what? Credit where credit is due. He installed it on a laptop and not a virtual machine. That's better than that.
Now, in all fairness, he could be running it in a VM on that laptop.
Also true.
I mean, there could be layers to the dumb.
I don't know. I'm inclined to take them at their word until proven otherwise. Like, oh yeah, no, I ran this in a Docker container on my Linux VM on my laptop.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Coming up next, yo, you got some hash, man. I want some hash. No.
I had something, but then I completely lost it. So hello and welcome to the next segment.
Like I did at the beginning of the show, man.
Drinking.
That's the thing. I was thinking about something, and then you put the camera on me. I'm like, oh shit, what was I thinking about?
Tacos, Pedro. You're thinking about tacos.
You fragile little box person.
I bought wraps. I actually bought wraps today, so tacos may very well be in the menu tomorrow.
Okay, hang on. Let's have a little bit of real talk. Like, do you ever just like
real taco?
You ever just like fuck up like half a bag of wraps? Like,
yeah.
I'm just going to
I put some cream cheese on them, but yes.
Yeah. Peanut butter. That's what I usually do. Peanut butter.
That's dark. Man.
That's what Nori does.
Listen, man, that is a fantastic way to go from having a full bag of tortillas to an empty bag of tortillas. If you want to buy us some more tortillas because we are hungry boys, you can head on over to patreon.com/LinuxGamecast, where there are many ways you can, or many levels you can support us at. At the very base level, you get access to our Discord channel, which you can also get from subbing to us on Twitch. So give us them Twitch Primes.
Yes, Bezos bucks, baby.
Bezos bucks, but you can get access to the show notes, so you can watch the show kind of congeal over the week, or a little bit more, and you can actually contribute to the show notes, fact check us, provide suggestions, hot takes, etc., etc.
Yes.
It's good fun. There's a bunch of ascending goals up until you can just buy your way onto the show. So if you want to do that, give us money and we'll do it for you. We also got a store.linuxgamecast.com. You can buy that lovely, lovely Linux Gamecast merch that you crave so much. The hottest fashion trends this summer. Blue steel, hell elks, cobalt. That's how you do it. We got stickers.
The only shirts that blink.
Yes, they blink. They'll confuse people in real life. They'll maybe even distract drivers so you can cause some traffic accidents. No, they won't.
Hey, I did. I genuinely stuck the hell elks because I had like a little piece of tape on the back. And, and I got tired of walking by and the damn thing falling up. Like, I've had enough of you. Let's find out if you actually stick. So it's
how long has it been up there now?
A year.
Yeah, so there you go. Stickers, they stick.
That's pretty good.
We got wish zones. If you go to our website under the support tab, we got the wish zones for myself, for Pedro, and for Ven. Buying us anything off that will allow you to send us a note. We'll read it on the air. You can make us say all sorts of stupid shit. Just don't make us say any racist shit or stuff that will get us kicked off of Twitch. Or, I mean, we'll just see it and not read it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we might try and get through it and throw in some beeps here and there, but
yeah.
don't.
I mean, if you buy stuff off Ven's list, you get to go on the blinky wall over there. That's the direction.
No one's used this thing maliciously at all.
No one has, and it's sad. You can be the first.
And you
if
could
you
abuse. Yeah, you could totally abuse that.
I'm just like, you could be like Freenode rules number one.
I am half tempted just to like buy something as
disallowed.
penis.
Shut up.
Jeff's my uncle, something like that.
Uncle who works at Nintendo. Yeah. So lots of ways to support us. If you don't want to give us money, if you don't want to support us financially, you can always give us a retweet, a like, smash the bell, retweet us, tweet us on Mastodon.
You are our marketing team and you're brilliant at it. We want to thank each and every one of you who have made this show possible. We've been doing it for over a decade. We got no business model whatsoever. Like, hey, if we get some coin and we do a show each week, like, hey, let's try to pay for ourselves. We get extra stuff. We try to do better shows. We try to do more stuff for you. And we really, really do want to thank you for that. That is awesome. Stick around for your name in the credits because we like to shame people publicly for helping us out. Now.
And yes, let's smoke some hash. Ben, you got that hash?
No, baby. I got my little hash rate.
Come on and kick me.
Dude, okay. This is like the biggest, oh yeah, finally, because Nvidia's like, it's a secret. No, it's not. We've known about this for months. A further step to getting GeForce cards into the hands of gamers. Yes.
GeForce?
Basically, this headline could read, okay, we finally have our new hash mining cards out in the pipeline, ready to sell like in mass. So now all the 30 series cards, except for the 3060 12 gig that Ven wants, because fuck him, are going to be hash limited. So you're going to get like half.
The 3060 was already hash limited. That was like the first one.
God damn
and
it,
then
Pedro,
they accidentally
can we not
the driver
have this again? This one's out of the factory.
That's what they did.
No. Nvidia is so blindingly stupid that they would try a thing that they tried and failed at again a second time because, I mean, Nvidia is just staffed by idiots.
I am firmly under the belief that there's no drivering your way out of this. I'm sure there's going to be a bit that's going to be set. Because
I'm sure, or like a solder thing. You just got to like solder a little jumper.
Yeah. It's like, all right. There's not going to be any
like the Switch and the hardware issue that allowed it to completely sideload literally
Hang on. Nope. I'm going to tap the brakes on both of you right now. How many years did that take, Pedro Mateus?
1?
3? 4? It was not 1.
I don't know.
They discovered it pretty quickly. There wasn't any custom firmware or anything for a while after that, but the vulnerability was discovered quickly.
You're talking about the NVIDIA flaw?
So Pedro, computer security is flawless all the time, and measures are always effective 100%. Correct? This is the future.
No. My point is that Nvidia already fucked it with the 3060,
and you know what? They might fuck it up already. That's the point is now. I guess the real kind of shitty thing is they're no longer poisoning the well. I was kind of looking forward to that, like just having a bunch of low hash rate cards that are virtually indistinguishable from the ones that are capable of like mining Ethereum. But I guess they figured that it was going to be like a massive PR nightmare to be like, oh, the reason that these cards are not performing well is because of the low hash rate. Don't buy them. Blah blah blah. There's a bunch of Nvidia FUD that they could put out there. So they're like, okay, we're gonna mark these as low hash rate so that people know. And I don't know if that's gonna fix the problem though.
It's more going to be about avoiding the potential lawsuits of, you didn't tell me that this was the low hash rate version and I paid for it. So what am I, playing the lottery without you telling me? So yeah, no.
The Switch was hacked in 2018, late 2018. Switch was announced in 2016.
When did it actually release?
2016.
You said announced. Was that the release date or
no,
the announcement date?
No, to see if you wanted to roll it back. October 20th, 2016.
Okay.
This is to 2014. So anyway, the point is, no one's saying you're not right, Pedro. I'm saying this is take two.
And I mean, like,
I'm saying I hope they don't cock it up because I would very much like to buy a 3060 Ti, as I've mentioned many times.
Nvidia, I want all of them to be brilliant except for the ones you ship to Cambridge. I want all those to be easily hackable.
I mean, like, no matter what they do, you're fighting nerds with infinite time on their hands on the internet. You're not gonna win.
You're going to be dealing with probably like 6 people on the planet capable of doing this, looking at it and going, oh, okay.
This is a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. And you could, for all we know, we could end up with like another Sega Saturn situation.
Where it doesn't get broken for years later. Yeah.
I don't know. I hope between Ethereum changing to like proof of stake and this, like maybe by January of next year, I'll be able to get my little 3060.
I don't think so.
All right, fine. I don't care. I won't one anyway.
That's that's fine. I'm just taking the more grim outlook of like, no matter what these guys do, the miners are going to find new ways to like make it miserable for everyone else.
You know what I would say if I could get one by like the next 6 months?
Big triangle?
No, I'd say
and I jizzed in my pants. Yeah, this is from Mike Blumenkrantz, super good code blog. Yeah, he's been working on that Zink layer, the OpenGL by way of Vulkan, and yeah, he's been keeping his head down for a while, working away at it, and it seems that he's gotten to a point where things are 100 to 1,000% better than they were previously, which is good. It may not be on performance parity with native OpenGL, but it is making very, very good progress. So yeah, it's entirely possible we're going to be entering the moon future where performance parity between DirectX and OpenGL is achieved through Vulkan.
I like that it has went in such a short amount of time. It has just went from, hey, look, this like it moves. I mean, it doesn't do much, but it technically works on a technical level too. We're going to get there. Not too long. We're going to see, and wouldn't we all agree? I mean, everything's going to benefit from this with older titles. Yeah, imagine being able to push all your OpenGL stuff, with not DirectX 9 and nothing like it. It's just OpenGL render. Now you're going to have the power of Vulkan, who, as we all know, that just makes everything better. 100,000 frames per second. You don't have to do anything else. It's magic.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're EA.
About that. See, unlike DirectX, Vulkan doesn't have a Visual Studio to write the code for you. So you kind of have to do it manually. But I'm glad that I'm quickly becoming a big fan of Mr. Blumenkrantz here. Mike has just been knocking it out of the park. And yeah, having this work like DXVK does, because there's already a bunch of people on Windows running DXVK to run the old DirectX 9 games with a lot better performance because, oh, look, everything is massively parallelized. So yeah, the performance is just better and it can actually use the multiple cores and threads of the new CPUs. And yeah, this is the best way to do it effectively.
It's kind of the Nvidia method of like, oh yeah, the OpenGL performance is going to suck, but we're going to have such extreme hardware acceleration under the hood that you're not going to realize that it sucks. You're just re-engineering that with Vulkan.
I really was thinking about that the other day. Hey, just having the conversation with, you game on, I'm like, well, I run Linux. This is nice to be able to play some games on it and like really easily now. Then you get to the conversation, I'm like, well, what about the 10% performance? I'm like, most of the time you're not even going to know. I'm not justifying anything here. If you just want to play the video games, kid, stay on your Windows, man. I'm just saying for us who are running Linux day in and day out, if I'm getting 1,011 FERPs to begin with, 10% off that, okay.
Yeah, no, if I can hold 144, even if it's a 1080p, that's fine. I'm okay.
Whoa. Who said anything about such a peasant resolution, Pedro Mateos?
And I mean,
2560 by 1440 would be ideal, but 1080p I can tolerate, yes.
The 10% performance drop isn't really like an accurate number anyways, because you look at a lot of like the newer games like that are actually utilizing DXVK, and DXVK can actually outperform native DirectX 11 in several cases. So
and DirectX 9, it's so much better than DirectX 9 that everything runs better on DXVK. Okay.
So it's definitely a bit of a loaded statement, and we're always going to be fighting like 10-year-old FUD because the people half remember from the conversation they had with the dude at a bar.
And there is one issue that is still.
Well, I will just go out on a limb and say every benchmark that I've ever seen compared to like DX11 versus DXVK, DXVK wasn't the winner.
Yes,
but it is getting better.
I'm just saying, I'm a realist, man. I'm like, do not jump over to Linux, kids, if you're looking for a performance bump in your gaming. That's not the path.
I use Linux because I like an operating system that does what I fucking tell it to do.
The big issue is the anti-cheats still. But Valve supposedly is working on that. You just gotta wait for the Valve time.
You're just a cheater, McCheaty. You just can't stand it.
I mean,
no,
Valve,
I want to
Valve
be able to play those games without cheating. I want them to know that I'm not cheating, Blizzard.
You want to easily bypass those anti-cheat systems like a real Windows user.
Yeah, exactly. How else am I going to be good at first-person shooters if I don't cheat? The rest of them are cheating.
Oh.
I mean, look at any given Counter-Strike tournament. They are all cheating. All of them.
No, Valve said they took care of that problem.
Cheaters.
Nope. They solved it. It's been solved. You're just making stuff up at this point.
Yeah.
Augustus, Caesars. Yes. Salads.
Yes.
Tomato juice.
Caesar 3. It has currently two, not competing, I would say complementing open source engine reimplementations, and this is Augustus. It is very much a fork from Julius. Julius is the true reimplementation that sticks to the original game. It's for the purists out there. And Augustus, well, that tries to change a lot of things to make the game better, because, no game is perfect, so you can always improve on some things.
It makes it awfully flat.
Dark Souls is a perfect game.
That's Caesar 3. It's always been awfully flat. Oh. Yeah, you couldn't zoom out that far because computers at the time, couldn't really render all that much at once. But yes, that was the map if you could. And this version of Augustus, version 3.0.1, has quite a few additions and a couple of changes as well, but the key here is the amount of new stuff that they've added, like tooltips to, if you hover over something to see what's going on without actually having to click on it and filter through the things. It's they had it undo, which was a thing that was just not there in the original game. So if you add something that you don't want to undo.
I don't know about that, because like I don't know. I've never played any of the Caesar series, so I don't know how much of these improvements are like much needed, like gameplay tweaks from like to bring the game into something a little more modern and playable, and overpowered fanficky bullshit. Control Z in a strategy game, though, I've played enough games with no undo, and it's like, well, I guess I gotta live with that misclick. Oh well.
I don't know. I'm thinking about Caesar, I'm thinking about Augustus, and my brain immediately went, do you dare search Steam for Salad Simulator?
You could probably search itch for Salad Simulator.
Yeah, it's probably on edge.
It probably is. Moral of that story is don't. Come on.
Yes.
Oh,
man.
Oh, right. You're about to fanboy all over Fedora and tell us all how Fedora is better than everything else and Fedoras.
Yeah, that's the thing I do constantly. I don't know.
Jeez, calm down.
So crazy. Yeah, the Fedora Project Wiki has an upcoming change proposal. They want to move all of the SDL1 libraries to the garbage bin and replace them with SDL compat. Which, yes, please. SDL1 is terrible. It served a purpose back in 1998. And now in 2021, we have SDL2, which, works with more than one monitor.
SDL 1.2 is old enough to vote, man. Come on.
It is, yeah. So there's this is similar to a couple years ago. They're like, hey, this DixVix thing is pretty good. We should just ship our version of Wine with DixVix because people are installing it anyways. This is a similar thing. So Fedora's coming in with the forward-thinking defaults. It's very good.
It's a very, very good default because having recently tested a bunch of games that Strider was having issues running with Lutris, I just loaded them up on Fedora 34 on the laptop, and a lot of them, I was glad that I was playing on the laptop, that it only had the one screen connected to it, because a lot of them were SDL 1.2s. So I very much look forward to just going into the libs folder of those games and just shift delete. Goodbye. And just letting it use the system.
Both of you looking at this wrong. This is yet another compatibility layer taking away from the true experience of Linux gaming, which is having your monitor shut the fuck off when you open a game. Oh no.
Why would you want to use all of your other monitors
shut down?
Yeah, you paid for 3 monitors, but you really only need one of them. Why would you ever?
Snaps over like, do I have a terminal emulator on that tablet?
Yeah. No, but again, this is a good move, and yeah, there's still some compatibility stuff that needs to be sorted out with SDL compat or SDL 1.2 compat, but. Yeah, get rid of that, please.
I mean, I still remember when I had old Icky on the Weekly Daily Wednesdays, and like, hey, you ever thought about doing a compatibility? Like, oh no.
Then Mr. Alert started on one, and then Ryan's like,
eventually said, okay, fine.
Well, he got through all the Patreon checklist items he had, and was like, oh, I guess I'm on this one now. Right. I suppose I'll do it finally.
Man, I don't know. I'm glad to see something like this in place. Just and also good on Fedora because to their point. I mean, this is going to make it compatible with Pipewire as well, which is also another good thing they're pushing up. But
also controller support.
Do you think
everything
with Fedora? Because I've always thought as Fedora as structured willing test subjects.
See,
here's let me wrap this up.
All right.
Because I think your modern Fedora user is like, no, this is just a up-to-date modern distro. And like, no, shit's supposed to break in Fedora. In my day, I mean, you didn't install Fedora on something you needed to reliably constantly work. And Fedora is very much getting to the point where reliably constantly works. But then we come out with things like, hey, we're dropping Pipewire. That shit still broke. It's got problems, but the only way we're going to fix it is by getting this data.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I compared this to Arch because Arch very much is the other bleeding edge distro, but you don't see Arch shipping defaults like this in the installer. And I will give Fedora a lot of credit. They have found a good balance between really bleeding edge software and an actual stable desktop that is usable day to day that won't break after every update. So
yeah, no, it's very hard to test something on Arch when everything around it's broken.
Mm-hmm. So Pedro at linuxgamecast.com. He's clearly bored.
Yes.
It has been a while since I've had a good discussion. Strider, you're letting me down.
All right.
Up
next up is RedDriver 2. Speaking of being bored and reading on the internet.
RedDriver?
Yes. RedDriver 2 is a open source, I want to say re-implementation, but it's technically not, because what they did was they disassembled the whole thing and then converted the MIPS code to C and rebuilt it from there. So technically a rebuild, a complete rebuild of Driver 2. And it is kind of
it's
crazy.
What I've always wanted, man. I want an
felony bar.
I want a felony meter for the real world, so I can like gauge it.
No, I don't know, man. You're always complaining about nanny bars and like, oh no, I gotta keep my felony meter all high now. Until
No, listen, man. I want to see how far I can get up to the top. Like, I got some wiggle room left. All right, blam. Okay.
See what like increasingly evil shit you need to do to like get that next tick on the felony bar.
That's how I can hack the system, man. Yeah, felony meter.
Yeah, so that is based on the original PlayStation version, and you can just build it and play it directly on Windows, on Linux. I think those are the currently 2 supported platforms.
No Haiku.
What you need, no iHaiku. No, then again, there is no 3D or 2D acceleration in Haiku yet. So
they're working on it.
They're working on it slowly, but they're working on it. The current version of RedDriver 2 supports ISOs and bins, which in the age of not having a DVD drive or any kind of spinning media drive external things for your computers, not even laptops, kind of a necessity. That why wasn't there in the first place? But yeah, you can absolutely play it. The game, you can just play it start to finish. This release fixes a couple of bugs, and if you are playing the game massive resolutions, performance is now right around where it should be. It used to have some issues, but
they did add Flatpak support as well. So got to thank Vinny Weiss.
All right.
Yes. So
I'm down with that, man. Game preservation. It makes that cavernous area where my heart should be warm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now,
what about building software for Linux though?
Utopixel. Utopixel?
Yeah. Utopixel.
Yeah, right. I mean, no one's going to get a knife fight over how to enunciate that correctly.
I'll stab you. I'll stab you.
You get cut, man. I look forward to the tweet. Like, hey, yeah, we pronounce
I'm gonna stab you with the T-pin.
No. They wanted to talk about building outer wonders for Linux. And I went through this. No, this is a very, very, very high level. Like, hey, this is just, a journey blog of like what we learned, what we put together. And, it's basically a story about developers learning the caveats and trade-offs inherent to dynamic linking, loading, and all that. Also, like somewhere along this tale of tales, they talk about porting a game to Linux. It was really a decent read. They even go into like dealing with SDL, and of course they're going to be dealing with SDL2. I'm like, hey, why don't you just statically link SDL2? Because I know that was an issue, speaking of SDL 1.2, way back in the day, because licensing issues, but I mean, it's fair game with SDL2, but maybe Flatpaks or something like that.
I think it's more like the article is very concerned with like maintaining best practices. So I think like maybe sticking with the dynamic library is sort of a best practice that they adopted. Nothing wrong with that. And honestly, like a lot of the advice here holds true for most software projects, regardless of platform. Yes. Like limit your external dependencies, stick to stuff that is portable, keep things self-contained so that you can just drop it on a system and run it and actually test the damn thing in something vaguely resembling what you intend to run it on. So these are things that will help whatever project you're working on, if you plan on supporting Linux or not. But it especially holds true when you're trying to support multiple platforms as well. We've seen like the entire pages of tweets that Ethan has put out about limiting your dependencies and making sure that you're not just pulling random libraries. And like for small development teams, it makes sense that you want to leverage whatever code is available, but also like think about maintenance long term, because if you don't want to be stuck dealing with, some upstream dependency changed, like they're signed it to an unsigned, and now my entire game engine is broken and I got to go fix shit, right?
I was kind of impressed by how much time that they spent on glibc, because when I'm thinking about that on my end, I was like, what version do you need? Whichever one I fucking decide on, fucko, that's the one you're going to need.
Yeah.
Don't ship your glibc libs with your game. Again, one of the suggestions that Flibbit made in the past was ship the ones that you need. The ones that you absolutely need, ship them. Don't ship glibc or libstd. Don't.
Well, what they bring up with glibc here is you have to be very careful about the features that are being supported because like some blog somewhere that these guys read said, hey, you want to build against as old a version of glibc as possible to ensure compatibility, but you also have to consider like, oh, do the libraries that I'm also using have dependencies on a newer version of glibc, which is what they ran into. So that's why they based on Ubuntu 2004.
Which, let's be honest, I mean, it's completely valid, target the latest Ubuntu LTS or whatever,
Target the Steam runtime. Save yourself the headache. Target the Steam runtime.
But yeah, like there are a lot of good points in the article. I think it's a little bit deeper than high level, but it doesn't get into like the weeds of the codes. But certainly, if you're not running a software project, you wouldn't necessarily think of these things.
Okay, yeah, what high level for us?
Yeah, sure,
fair. Okay.
All right. So coming up next, I'm going to begin the swing of my sword. And hopefully by the time it ends and we've hit something, we will have completed our shared acquisition of Lost Ruins. I guess let's take a swing at this and hopefully we'll be done before the next geological epoch. We're throwing shares at Lost Ruins this week, developed by Altari Games, done on the Unity engine. You can pick it up for about $20. What is it? Lost Ruins is a 2D side-scrolling survival action game where you play as a young girl that is awoken in a strange and foreign place without her memories. Explore a dark and dangerous world, battle hideous monsters to non-anime fans at least, and topple incredible boxes. So we got to thank Dangan Entertainment for sending us keys. That's the publisher. So let's get into it. Ven, you like this game, so let's
it's the best game. Game of the year 2021. Check it out. So what am I running it on? I have our little Threadripper 1920X, 32 gigs RAM, Nvidia 2060, you know the drill, NVMe drives, all that fun stuff. Now, let's talk about displays, because if you like 1440p, this game's got it, because that's as high as it'll go. I'm sitting here in front of a 43-inch UHD monitor. Fuck that noise. 1440p. That's all it's going to do. Now, I couldn't figure out why. For a minute there, I thought it was because I have like this UHD, like extra long. It's not UHD. It's like 1080 by go fuck yourself. But that's not 1440p. It's like 2560 or something. So I don't know. Did you guys run into that? Or could you get it to go in higher than 1440? Yes? No?
That's 1440 that you're watching in the video right now.
I played it in a window, so...
okay. Speaking of windowed mode work, no problem there, man. Rebindable controls, that's something I like to see. And no performance issues at 1440 or 1080p in a window with the little 2060. But let's talk about maybe it does have a problem or two. Quite possibly, because I'll act here. I'll try to reenact what I said. I went, oh no. And I believe that was everyone's first reaction immediately following the first swing that they did once they got a weapon. It's bad, kids. I want to quote Touch Fluffy Tail. Yes, I'm going to quote somebody with that name because they were very accurate in their Steam reviews. Because I had to go to the Steam store page. I'm like, is this just me hating on Dark Souls type combat? Or, oh no, I'm not alone. He, she, they, whoever wrote, the visuals in this game should be shown to aspiring artists taking game design classes. I agree with this. Followed by, the combat should be shown to aspiring game designers on how not to do combat. I agree with that. 100%. Because, that, ladies and gentlemen, is Lost Ruins in a shell of nuts. I mean, this game is like anime, action-ish, platformer with what I can only guess is like 2D Souls-like-ish combat system, ? Pedro's the expert on that. He'll get to it. But you know what? You have the traditional invincibility rolls, sluggish as hell melee attacks. Now, granted, different weapons have varying degrees of slug, which I guess is a good thing. You end up doing most things with ranged magic because, but unfortunately that causes you to constantly go into the screen to drink toilet paper or whatnot, and kind of You don't drink toilet paper, but there's a lot of toilet paper in this game for some reason. Okay, shut up.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
The point of that is I spent a lot of time in the menu because I did not want to deal with melee. Fuck those pigs, by the way. This is just a natural reaction, at least for me, because I like combat games. I like melee attacks, and I was getting killed to death too much without playing around with ranged. So, okay, it is a Metroidvania, allegedly, so you spend most of your time exploring, the map, and it's kind of worth it. Going around the different areas, because it's so pretty, man. The environments, they're just crazy well done. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of hipster pixel art, but damn, credit what credit's due on this. Now, they added this unique feature to the map that makes it impossible to tell if a room has an exit area, be it up, down, left, or right, if you highlight it. That's a weird design choice, but okay, more power to you. I even enjoyed the first boss battle I played last night on the stream. Like, all right, multi-stage, well done. Even attacking it slow as I was, but I mean, I'd still get shit done. It has that going for it, I guess. Nice boss battle, that first one anyway. But yeah, I'm like 2.5 hours into this, and nothing's hooked me so far. You start off with the very generic, like memory loss, blank slate story. I've never seen that in a game. Mixed with just straight up neckbeard dialogue and humor. I could power through that and enjoy the scenery because, again, this game is beautiful. As long as I could just go murderating the baddies, but that combat system, man, it's just so comically bad. I was all the way up to, what would you say, about an hour in where you get the chance to get the katana. And even up to that point, I was thinking, okay, this is just like a prolonged goof. We're about to get unlocked and I can just start unleashing fucking all on everyone. And it's going to be a great story. Nope. It's just genuinely comically bad. And I am talking LOL. Wow. I bet something is going to unlock bad. And it doesn't. So nothing's broken. Technically, everything still works. 1440p. It's got the little map issue, which, as long as you're not trying to focus on where you're planning on going by highlighting it, it works just fine. I will question the Foley sound effect when you land like that. No matter if you're landing on wood or stone, it sounds like hollow wood. And there is a small audio bug when you kill the slime monsters, like right at the beginning, little slime girls. There's like audio sound, but hey, that could just be on this end. But at the end of the day, I'll give it a solid 2 chairs.
Yeah, on Fedora 34 with the R9 3900X and the GTX 1080 Ti, runs out of the box. Controller works out of the box too. I don't get the right prompts, but whatever, it works fine. Yeah, the animation in this game is like super fucking gorgeous. If you're watching the video right now, there's even some like fucking RTX with like the dynamic lighting. They actually like light will actually shine through cracks and whatnot. It's very well done. It's a little bit discordant with the pixel aesthetics just because of like how smooth everything is. But yeah, like it's just a credit to how good the animation is. The soundtrack is mostly anime girls moaning. I'm sure some of you are into that. Fun wise, yeah. The combat is just atrocious. Bad. I had the exact same reaction Ven mentioned. I got the sword and I swing it and I'm like, oh no. And it's a shame because it looks so good, anime bullshit or no. And I appreciate wanting people to be more methodical with the combat, but forcing all my attacks to be at a snail's pace isn't really the way to do it. Castlevania managed to force you to be methodical with thoughtful level design and enemy placement. And incidentally, I thought, oh, you know what? Maybe like old Castlevania was this slow. Maybe I'm just being a little bitch boy and like complaining when that new games are too easy. But I went back and I checked out a ROM of Castlevania. No, I mean I plop it in my NES that I own, and man, that game moves at warp speed compared to this fucking game. It just makes you slow. Also, I gotta agree with Pedro. He's going to talk about no heals on checkpoints a little bit more, but dear Lord, it basically just becomes like, or not even, no, you don't even get your health back on death. So everything just becomes this exercise and I need to grind out all the shit and just stack healing effects to tank through all of the cheap bullshit attacks that keep coming at me. They do have an accessible mode, which removes a lot of the combat difficulty in exchange or enable you to experience the story more. But like, I don't know, the story isn't really grabbing me that much. There hasn't been like oh, this is fascinating. Here's an interesting twist. Here's interesting characters that I like and I want to see succeed. They're just kind of like generic anime cookie cutters. And with that, I gotta give it 1 Cher. Not for me.
Yeah, no, it's, well, I'll get to it. Over here on the Ryzen 7 3700X with the GTX 1080, it launched out of the box. It seems to have some dips down from 144 to 2560 by 1440, which, if you look at the graphics, like, what exactly are you doing in the background?
Because all those are 3D models, Pedro.
Dodge roll, dodge roll.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, no, and I could only hit that particular enemy when I stopped dodge rolling, but we'll get to that too. The DualShock 4, I had to enable Steam input, otherwise it would move the cursor or the character with the accelerometer 6-axis. That's an issue that I hadn't seen for a while. It used to be a thing with Unity games a while back, but they sort of fixed it, so this is probably running on an older version of Unity. And yeah, no. As for the fun, the gameplay itself, it's like the general way that you go about it is a box-centered Metroidvania that's made artificially more difficult than it has any business being. How's that for a one-liner? You know, I'm someone when I'm playing your typical Soulsy type of games. I like the big-ass swords, and I was very happy to find the Zweihander. Oh yeah, big, massive, great sword. Let's just drop that on an enemy and automatically kill it. Nope. In fact, when I tried to take a swing at it, a big-ass goblin that's about 3 times the size of the character took 2 swings at me in the time that it took me to do 1 swing. So, fuck that. All the way back to where it came from.
How fast do you expect this little anime girl to be able to swing a big sword, Pedro?
Lightning fast. If anime has
not
anything
as fast as she can swing literally anything else. She seems to be able to swing every other sword just fine. It's just that one takes.
This game is hard seated in realism. So
yes, especially the idle animation. This is a general problem with the game itself. It takes the enemies. The enemies all move faster than you can attack with most weapons. And if you are trying to use one of the big swords or one of the big hammers, you will get hit 2 or 3 times before you can get a single swing out. So it is completely impossible to use any of the heavier weapons, and I found myself just having to go back to certain places to farm health drops because the game doesn't drop enough gold. Even when you do kill the enemies, it doesn't drop enough gold for you to actually use the vending machines or the trader NPCs to actually buy the healing items. You're better off just teleporting all over the teleporters that you found and farming all of the items and then carrying on. The checkpoint statues, they don't refill your HP like Jordan already mentioned, or your mana, like most games of this particular ilk. You have your Sultan Sanctuary, for example. You had the proper shrines and the little teeny tiny shrines that just literally acted like checkpoints. But those refilled your healing items, and they refilled your HP, and they also respawned all the monsters, which is fine. You're kind of expecting that. So it's disrespecting my time and artificially padding its own length and difficulty by being so completely asinine with the mechanics. Even killing the bosses feels completely useless because you don't level up. Most of the equipment you get is either useless or poorly explained. Like the boots that have the little wings on them. Well, you can do an attack while in the air, but if you try to do an attack while in the air, the character actually stops midair to do the attack and continues falling down at the same speed.
That's what the item says it does, though.
Yes. And if you actually try to dodge in midair while wearing those boots, you can. You can successfully dodge mid-jump while wearing those boots. How would you know that? fuck you. That's how. And yeah, no, it's just poorly explained. And the only thing that you can get out of a boss is striped underwear. I'm not joking. You get striped pennies and striped bras. That's it. Those are the two striped things that I've gotten thus far. Are there secret nudie panels? Is that why the game is very positive on Steam? Because I don't know. I just know that I don't like it, and I don't think the inclusion of the lusty Argonian maid saves it, so it gets one chair.
All right, well, there you go. I think we all agree the combat here is like what really needs a huge refactor.
I want to like the game. I want to play it. I want to explore the world, but damn, the game itself, like maybe if the story, the writing or something like hooked me, but
yeah, it's just not fun to play. And that's kind of what kills it as the game is that you need to be able to at least enjoy or engage with playing the game. And it really doesn't make you want to do that.
Do you think it's something that'll ever go back and like maybe rebalance the mechanics on it? Or is it somebody, I'm assuming somebody on the team had to like push this through like, no, this is how this is done.
I don't know. Maybe Lost Ruins 2.
They don't have any incentive to.
I don't know. Maybe Lost Ruins 2 is going to be the one that like has the ultra smooth combat. We're going to be like, oh my God, they finally perfected it. I don't know. We'll find out. Coming up next, karaoke time.
I'm a big fan of the hate mail section, as you've probably already guessed. Very much
pissing on Arch.
Yeah, no, I actively seek out people who want to throw some hate mail at me. But this week we don't have hate mail, so to speak. At least the author was very clear to point out it's not hate. But we'll get to that. If you would like to throw us some actual hate mail or some constructive feedback for that Wednesday show, you can absolutely do that.
Mild disgruntlement mail.
Yes. You can go to linuxgamecast.com, hit the contact button, and the topic, just pick LGC Weekly for the hate mail. Or if you want to send for LWDW, you can absolutely do that too. And as Ven may have been hinting there, if you were watching the video version, we had someone kind of sort of asking or questioning Jordan's humming abilities.
You know what? I got to give him some credit, Pedro, because I had to go back and listen. I'm like, if you squint, you can hear it, kind of.
It kind of reminds me of the one guy who like posted the lyrics to that one Dankma song that is literally Ned Flanders' dad going boom 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 bam 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 boom boom bam 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 for like 5 minutes straight. But anyways, continue.
Yes, Synthetic Owl, I will give him kudos for his onomatopoeias, because he says, Dear LGC, watching LGC 455 on YouTube, and at timestamp 737, you, Jordan, says, cue the X-Files piano riff, and like any other person, I was expecting to hear do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do, do-eat-eat-eat-eat-eat.
Boom boom boom
but Jordan went
boom boom bam bam bam.
do 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 do.
Willy willy woo. All right, Carl, calm down.
Willy woo.
So I listened to it at half speed to verify it, which in fairness actually made it sound somewhat better. Well, I just thought that it was weird. Has Jordan even seen the X-Files? But no. I had more than a few beers in me, so I let it pass. But then at 37:21, Jordan does this version of the Rocky theme. What the fuck? That wasn't even remotely close. Jordan, I hate to break this to you, but you either need to get your hearing check or take singing lessons. Even though I sent this to your hate mail address, I just want to emphasize that this is not hate mail. There it is. As I believe it is wrong to hate on people with a disability, like Jordan, who is clearly tone deaf.
You know, I doot my best on the show, but clearly what I doot isn't good enough for you. So it is with a heavy heart. I need to relinquish all of my Linux Gamecast singing duties to Mr. Pedro Mateus, who will be blessing you with his rendition of the Human League's Don't You Want Me?
Okay, how far can I get into it without the
that far?
I was hoping he would go for it.
Content ID.
You can type it out in chat.
That much is true.
If one
Don't
thing
you
you
want
definitely
me?
got to learn now, there's going to be bad rendition. English word. Renditions? Yes, renditions.
Yes.
Of music in everything we do. Let's plays. This. Just casually sitting around. We're a musical bunch. I know you don't expect that. And that's probably for the best because, as you might have noticed, we're not very musical. But don't let things like talent or ability stand in your way, kids.
It didn't stop Bob Dylan.
Power through it. Fair point.
Oh, he powered through it.
Exactly. Like with gusto.
Yep.
Look at Justin Bieber. You can make millions of dollars singing and have zero talent or ability.
Yep. Like Canada. The gift that keeps on giving.
Thanks, Nickelback. You can keep that. You can take the nickel back. I don't want it. Please.
You better be careful, man, or that dude's gonna like come pick you up.
Look at this graph, man.
Chad Kruger just busts through Jordan's window. Say what?
Look at this sales graph. Every time I think about it, makes me laugh.
You are so going to be outside next week, and he's going to be visiting his sister. Like, fuck me.
I mean, if Chad Kroger wants to go hang out with my sister,
sitting on that couch next week, like waiting. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was just a blonde Saeed from Lost.
No, no. You Canadians, man, can't tell people apart either. I think on that safety bombshell, we're going to cue the music. You can always check us out, 8:30 Eastern Standard Moon Time. Come hang out with us. We got the pre super shows in for our Death Notes and above in Discord. Starting then, but 8:30 right back here on Twitch, where we hang out with everyone. And this Nightmare Train starts on Tuesday and keeps on going until tonight. We take Sundays and Mondays off because we're cool like that.
Those are our weekends.
It's for church.
Yeah. It's weird. Yes. Flying Spaghetti Monster. Obey. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm just at Vin Stone on Twitter. That's where I hang out. Or at Vin on our federated Mastodon instance. You guessed it, mast.linuxgamecast.com.
Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me?
Baby. Do.
If you do, you can find me on Twitter at The Burning Fool or twitch.tv/Burning Fool.
Can we get a Chad Kroger baby shirt?
Baby shark.
Well, they say that a hero can save us, but I'm not going to stand here and wait. You can find me on Twitter at accounted4. I'll be waiting there.
That's it.
Congrats. Yeah.
I thought that said turds for a second, and I'm like,
Same
that
difference.
sounds about right.
Also, yeah.
Fleshy turds.
Wet, fleshy turds.
That's one way you can describe us, but it's not how you can describe the lovely party patrons that make this show possible.
So you
we got our advice.
Katana, if we could sing, we would be a cult. See, we can't sing, so not cult.
Blue Oyster LGC cult. We got to thank our advisors, our Omegas and our Theron. We also got to thank our executive producers, Aldius Bart Brandt, Scott Michaud, Mr. Fox Dog, Atomic Ass Mike, GMT, Drummer, and Holy Toast, and our still lone little Nikki fan, Darkwing. It's the one good Adam Sandler movie.
And the Sea Monsters, Jack B, Reno, Ryder, Trudgy, Veritanuda, Justin, Frostclaw, and Kylytics.
Trudgy.
Yes. And Death Notes, Nova, Basil,
Trudgelsworth.
Chad, Romeo, Marson, System T, Craig, Renee, Leonardo, DeCresney, Kim, Smashley, Chris, Stephen, Jill, and Benjamin. Oh, and Doom 2, Wad, and Stephen, the other one.
Stephen.
Steven, the other one.
Hey, man, closing
And
down with
all of
Ryan,
you
incredible
crazy,
lyric,
crazy
Dondro, Rudy B, Eagle D, Dementor, Zeno,
Rohit,
Daniel, Black,
Rosmawada.
Lutras, Ailyad, -9, and
-9 and Monica. Because they're in the last line. They're easy to read.
Reading in order. What's next? What other crazy invention will we come up with?
Counting to 10.
No.
Next on Linux Gamecast.
Lower that bar, Svog. Lower.
1, 2, 3, potato.
Down to fire, beautiful people.
Purple.
We'll see you next week.
5 dudes.